Welcome to Silver Bow Publishing's virtual launch for The Names We Carry by Khayelilhe Benghu. We're excited that you're here to join us to celebrate this new release. My name is Megan Hakkinen. I am a two-time ultra cycling world champion and the author of two adventure memoirs. Silver Bow Publishing is a Canadian publishing company releasing 20 to 30 books annually by international writers in the genres of fiction, poetry, and nonfiction. Candace James is at the helm of Silver Bow as general manager, and I'd like to invite her to share a few words about working with the poet before we begin. We'll have time for questions and some discussion at the end. So welcome, Candace.
It's my pleasure to be here with Kaylee and Megan. And Kaylee, as I say, she's from the other side of the world, but when I read her manuscript, her poetry just is amazing. And you're going to be very privileged to hear it today. So I am just the best I can say is thank you for being here, Kaylee. Thank you for choosing Silver Bow to do your book. It's been a pleasure reading it, and I'm sure it's going to do well.
Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity. It means a lot to me.
Yes, thank you, Candace. So I just want to let you know that you can order The Names We Carry at local retail bookstores and libraries worldwide, or from the publisher through the Silverbow website. The ebook version is available on Amazon. Silverbow's websites and purchase links for this book will be pasted in the chat. So without further ado, I'm really excited to introduce our celebrated poet, Khayelilhe Benghu. So I'll spotlight you. Here we go. So Khayelilhe Benghu is an emerging poet based in Johannesburg, South Africa. Her work has appeared in Decolonial Passage, Aliko, Person of Interest, Suburban Witchcraft, Map Frastics, and Aki Review, and has also appeared in Full House Journal. She is a part-time nurse and translator and has participated in the Moo Short Poetry Session and third-person poetry workshop. Her writing explores themes of memory, inheritance, identity, and the quiet emotional landscape that shapes human experience. You can find her on Instagram at Khayelilhe Benghu, and I'll put that link in the bio in the chat with the purchase links. So welcome, Khayelilhe. We're so excited to hear you share from this book, and I will just hand things over to you. Thanks for being here.
So thank you for having me, and thank you for the opportunity. It's great. It is amazing. I'm honored.
Wonderful.
Okay, I don't know whether I should start by reading a poems. Okay, first I will read The Names We Carry, which is the heart of and the collection of the poems. Okay, The Names We Carry, each name a river, winding through generation, with currents we cannot see. I speak mine slowly, testing echoes of fathers, mothers, grandparents, who whispered in tongues I only half remember. Memory is a suitcase we open with care, an inheritance, a map we redraw with every step, every choice, every fragment of ourselves we decide to keep. Okay, this poem explores identity. For the next one, which is in page 27, the title is Inheritance. It explores inheritance in a form of grief. Okay. Inheritance. My mother says nothing is wasted. Even grief feeds something. She keeps jars of screws, bent nails, even buttons without pairs. When my father died, she kept his bread in the house for months, opening windows carefully, so it would not escape all at once. I learned early that loss is not absent, but surplus. Too much air, too many names for the same wound. In the evening, she sorted memory, the way other women sorted rice, pitching out what could break a tooth. Sometimes I catch myself saving what hurt me, folding it small, placing it on a shelf, telling myself this will be useful later. Okay, I will be reading the third poem, and the fourth one will be the last poems. The the third one, it explores. This is a theory or a small theory of staying. This poem reflects on survival, a quieter term, not as heroic or dramatic. It is on page 34. A theory, a small theory of staying. I used to think survival required strength. Now I know it requires attention, the ability to notice what has not yet collapsed. A cup unbroken on the counter, a body still willing to rise without explanation. Even despair has a habit, it leaves gaps. Some morning I survive by doing nothing heroic at all, only by staying long enough to see the moment past. But the fourth one is on the last page. In my family, we are all Christians. We pray before meals, even when the hunger is more spiritual than physical, even when rice is plain and the meat is memory. My mother folds her hands like she is holding the world together. My father says grace with the voice of a man who sings storm and still believes in rainbows. We wear Sunday like armor, pressed shirt, polished shoes, smile stitched with scripture. But Monday comes and the gospel grows quiet in the corner of our living room. My sister sings hymns while hanging laundry. She says the Holy Spirit likes clean sheets and honest work. My brother doubts in silence. He believes Bible. He reads Bible like a map with a missing road, but he still shows up at the altar of our table. We are not perfect. We argue over doctrine, over dinner, over who forgot to pray last night. But we forgive like it's our second language. In my family, faith is not loud. It is the way my grandparents bless the pot before stirring. It is the way we say God willing, even when we are not sure what we are asking for. It is the way we witness not with sermon, but with present, with bread shed, with wounds tended, with love that does not need to be explained. In my family, all are Christians, and some days that means everything, and some days it means we are still learning how to be. Thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you for that reading, Khayelilhe. It was wonderful to hear the poems in your own voice. I think that's just it helps just bring out the strength and the power and the meaning of the writing a lot more. I would love to take some audience questions. So if you're here in attendance and you have a question for our poet, you can put that in the chat or you can unmute yourself to ask it yourself. Either are options. So feel free to put your questions in the chat or raise your hand. To kick things off, I'm wondering if you could tell us about what inspired the names we carried.
The name is was inspired by ordinary things, by ordinary life. The weight of question that we normally goes unanswered. So was the
Mm.
poem assisted me in exploring those questions in an honest and intimate manner.
Hey, I love that. I love the idea of digging into ordinary things to see, excavate what's actually there. That's really interesting. I'm wondering also, how did you come up for the title of the collection?
The title came about when I thought of the name we carry as modern identity, because names carries histories, our experience, even the environment. So I was exploring that. Yes. So and I noticed that most of my poems connects on the inheritance. So the name we carry came up as a vessel to carry all those poems together.
Okay, neat. Sometimes it's so hard to find a title for things, and it sounds like this one kind of connected naturally, which must feel good.
Yes, thank you.
I'm wondering if you could tell us a bit about your writing process. What does it actually look like when you are working on a poem?
Okay, usually it can start by an image. If I am looking at an image, or it starts with a question, or sometimes an observation. It almost starts, it starts small, and I allow the emotion to sink in and explore it. I don't rush the poem. Words come on their own.
Okay. It's good to hear a little bit about that. I wonder, are there any questions from the audience or from Candace? Is there anything you'd like to ask Khayelilhe while we have her here?
Yeah, while you're at work, do you ever think about writing poems while you're at work, or is it always something that's away from your workplace?
No, they come anywhere. They can come while I'm attending a patient. So just sing him lying there. The poem comes, and sometimes it's only one sentence or only one word.
Mm,
Then it will develop from there
Yes,
until
that one.
it's a poem.
And where you work, do other people there know that you write poetry?
Yes, some, but I'm kind of an introvert person, so I normally write than I speak. I'm a very bad speaker, so I'm natural when I'm writing than speaking.
mm, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for those questions, Candace. I'm curious, I guess, about getting more into specifics. So, is there a poem in this collection that was like particularly difficult to write or something that really challenged you?
Yes, few of them, most of those reflect on grief, because and body, those are intimate spaces. So, but poem only come about when you are sitting in discomfortable position for long. Yeah, that's how the poem is built up.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And I'm glad you took the time to sit with those uncomfortable emotions to create this collection, but I can imagine it must have been difficult. Um, I think as mentioned in your bio, your work often explores memory and inheritance. And I'm wondering if you could talk more about these themes and what draws you to them.
I think memory and inheritance it shape us in a way, in many ways, and sometimes we don't recognize it how it shape us, and sometimes it influence our decision making. Because it's how the environment we are in, how we grow up. Those things affect us in a way we decide. So they all become our names. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love that.
I'm just thinking, my daughter said something the other day that I actually didn't know. A lot of things I don't know, but this one was, she said, we carry some epigenic traits in us. And I said, what's an epigenic trait? And she said, well, it's things from your ancestors that you don't even realize it's from your ancestors, but little quirks and things you have that are passed down through the genes, through
Mm,
the, and what it brought to mind for me was, this is quite funny. My grandmother had an older sister, not much older, but apparently she was in charge of dressing my grandmother when she was a little kid. And my grandmother would never let her put her sweater, top, anything on unless she could put her legs through the sleeves first and take them back out, because she was afraid of getting the thing stuck halfway on and off her head. And my daughter was like that too. It's just, you never know. My daughter still carries that fear with her.
well, that's a funny story,
I'm
Candace.
I'm wondering if Khayelilhe has any of those epigenic things passed down to her that are kind of little family unusualities.
I think we all, for example, if a parent has a diabetic, most sometimes children will find that they inherit it. Even in writing, some find that someone in the family was a writer, so you just inherit it. Yeah.
Mm. I
That's
guess,
true too. Yeah, because my great grandmother, uh, I guess people back then in the 1880s and stuff like that, they didn't have publishers around or stuff, but she had a bunch of writing and she kept it in a box and where her Bible was, and she wrote some really good poems too, and just amazing. But there was nowhere to go back then
Yeah, it
for
was
here.
difficult there.
Yeah.
mm, thanks for jumping in with those, Candace. I guess maybe my last question for you, Khayelilhe, is what do you hope readers take away from this collection? And then we do have some in the chat that I will get to. But I'm just wondering what you hope readers take away from reading this collection and spending some time with your work is.
Hope they find themselves, the parts of themselves in the poem. Maybe it's whether it can be a question or a feeling
Okay.
that stayed with them long enough. Because as a people, as humans, we are interconnected in one way or another, in many ways
Mm,
than one. So what I'm feeling at the moment, someone might be feeling the same thing. So I hope they feel less alone.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. So we have a couple questions in the chat, and someone's wondering how long did it take for you to compile the whole book? How long were you working on this project for?
Oh, okay. Most, but I've been a writer before even I know it. It's a long time. But most poems, some of the poem, what was a response from the journals, responding to a call to the journals. Yeah, so some of them were long when I was still even in the college. So
Okay.
yeah, I couldn't count. Maybe it's years. That's writing and paste it in the
6 years.
computer. Then when I noticed that they are connecting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how the book was formed.
Okay. Okay. That's neat to hear that it covers such a time span and
Mhm.
yeah, and how it all kind of connects together.
Yeah.
Another question is what emotions does the names we carry
Emotion is mostly it's a reflection on identity.
Okay.
Yes, because when a child is born to this world, we are born into the names. Our parents have already a name, we're born to histories, and the names, eh, they are like the rivers, they continue. So those names sometimes affect our decision making. Sometimes even
Mm,
upbringing is, yeah.
okay. That's really interesting. It just sounds like you have a really solid understanding of what you're trying to communicate with this poem and or not this poem, this collection. And I love hearing you talk about it with such certainty. And it just really feels like you've put a lot of time in uncovering, connecting, and crafting this for us. And we're so lucky to have this collection and you here.
Thank you.
Um, there's a question in the chat and someone's just wondering what do you hope readers take away from this collection? So I think we could use that to wrap things up. Um, yeah, what do you hope readers take away from this collection?
Let's just hope they see themselves in it.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe it can respond. It can be an answer to that question they have. Sometimes even don't. Sometimes even if they can find the answer for themselves, but I hope it assists them to reach that decision somehow. Yes, to reflect.
Hmm. Oh, that's wonderful. I love that. What a gift to share this launch with you all, and such deep gratitude to Khayelilhe for trusting us with this work and letting us all celebrate together. If the names we carry resonates with you, the best way to support it is to grab a copy, and the purchase links are in the chat. So just a big thank you to everyone for being here and making space for these stories. And that's all I got. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you.